Good morning. Welcome to, I haven't decided what to call this yet, Tuesday coffee clinic coffee chat, because I'm usually having coffee right now. Today's topic is sleep, and yesterday here on the page, and it's not too late to join in and try, but yesterday here on the page and on Instagram, I issued a challenge on fixing your nighttime routine, because I always get asked questions about sleep, right? And so I want you to tell me, whether you're watching this on the replay or live, tell me in the comments, how did you sleep last night? And I don't mean like, how do you sleep? How do you live with yourself? I mean like, do you fall asleep easy? Do you wake up feeling rested? Did you sleep all night long? Sleep is critical for our mental, physical, emotional, energetic well-being. And yet for so many people, it is so elusive. And you think people are walking around well rested, but how many times do you hear people say like, I'm tired, I'm exhausted, I didn't sleep? And now there's a couple of different problems. There's lots of different problems, many roots to a tree, right? There's lots of different problems that can lead to that. But for the most part, they kind of fall into two major buckets, right? Maybe three. One is the over-glorification of busy, right? Like we're working until, 10 p.m. We're getting up the crack of dawn. And then the other side of that is just quality of time or quantity of time of heads on pillows, quality and quantity, right? So when we don't sleep well, it leads to inflammation, it leads to a buildup of toxins, it leads to the inability to process deep emotions, and it leads to a disrupted energy flow. And it's kind of interesting if you look at the number of sleep aids on the market today, and then still look at that in contrast to the number of people that aren't sleeping. So we're still sleepless, right? No matter if you take a pill, potion, or powder to do it. So I want to talk to you today about sleep, about how sleep happens, and then I'm going to give you 6 things that you can do, 6 hacks, if you will, to get your sleep on track tonight. Next week, in part 2, we're going to talk a little more in depth. So if you've done these 6 things to go to sleep and you've done them every night between now and next Tuesday, then I'll have some different options for you on Tuesday of things you can try for the next layer. By and large, this fixes it, okay? So I understand that sleep doesn't feel very important, and we've all probably gone through times in our lives where we're like, I'll sleep when I'm dead, and I may have even been in that bucket before, but even though from the outside, the body appears like it's not doing anything, there's actually a whole lot going on in there. While you're sleeping, your body's working to restock hormones, to process serious emotions, to get rid of toxins, to repair damaged tissues, to rearm the immune system, which is absolutely critical, to eliminate the effects of stress, and to recharge, right? Recharge your battery. It's kind of, I always liken it or make the analogy, it's like going to the grocery store in the middle of the night, right? From the outside, it looks like not much is going on. The parking lot is completely empty. But once you step inside the store, there's stockers restocking the shelves, people are cleaning, there's lots of stuff going on. So the not sleeping, a lot of people think, well, not sleeping is not that big of a deal because I can have coffee, right? A cup of coffee or an energy drink to get me through the day, or lots of coffee or energy drinks to get me through the day. But as I mentioned in the beginning, it also serves to disrupt your immune system, to inflame autoimmune conditions, and to cause hormone disruptions. And there's a whole laundry list of things that go with that. And I got news, coffee is not fixing that. So sleep is one of those primary priorities that have to be addressed on anyone's healing journey, because routinely getting sound sleep doesn't only heal the body internally, but it also improves motivation. It gives you the ability to make changes that are necessary to heal the body. Because when you're coming from a place of tired, a place of I can't, then nothing feels possible, right? So first, let's talk about how we fall asleep. Fall asleep from the magic of the pineal gland, okay? And it's this teeny tiny, it's like the size of an ant, and not like a Texas fire ant, but like an actual tiny ant. And it's in the center of your skull. So if you were to go down the center front to back, and then the center left to right, the pineal gland is right there in the middle, kind of behind the third eye. And it secretes a neurotransmitter called melatonin. Now, you've probably heard of melatonin because it's in all these sleep aids. Don't take sleep aids with melatonin in them, by the way. They can be used for short term, for very specific causes, but it's not a long-term solution because it makes that pineal gland stop making its own melatonin, which is a big problem once that happens, okay? So I always cringe when I hear people taking melatonin or giving it to their kids to get them to sleep routinely. But melatonin in itself, naturally produced melatonin, is a really cool little neurotransmitter because once it kicks in, it's kind of in charge of everything. It suppresses the activity of other hormones, other neurotransmitters. Also, sometimes you might hear them called chemical messengers in the body. And what it does is it starts to calm the body down, right? And part of the reason for this brain calming is because it counters the effects of some of your other hormones like adrenaline and cortisol and lots of other stress hormones, things that are secreted by your adrenal glands. So as you become more drowsy, your brain starts to turn down the volume. So just turning down the volume on those skeletal muscle functions, and eventually it turns them off. And so it's not like a scary paralysis type thing, but it is the reason why it's your body's way of keeping you from moving around so much and doing things like acting out your dreams. So when you turn off those voluntary skeletal muscles with that melatonin, that it's the body's built-in way to start that revitalization work, that restocking of the hormones, that everything has to kind of be still and quiet to heal, right? So when you get all of that done, actually a good example of that in real life is if you've ever watched a pet or a child dream, and you know how dogs, when they dream, they're barking, but it's just this muffled little bark that comes out. Their mouth doesn't really open and let out a big bark. Or you can see their little legs going, and you can tell that they're running in their dream, but they're not fully running with both legs. And that's that voluntary skeletal muscle calming down as a result of melatonin. So for you to have a nourishing and restful sleep, melatonin has to steadily rise, and cortisol is at the same time steadily dropping. So they work in inverse of each other. Now here's the thing. Here's the kicker. Do you know what triggers melatonin? Darkness and low noise, right? So technically you could call that low light and low noise. Back up, hundreds of years ago when the sun would start to set, that would be a trigger for melatonin in our brain. Fast forward to now, when the sun sets, what do? We go inside and we turn on all the lights. And we go inside and we sit with a device just inches from our face. We go inside and we have these giant TVs that emit this full spectrum light, just like the sun, that take up, 2/3 or 1/3 of our wall, right? And so we've transferred that, oh, here comes the melatonin, and then we switch it off and come inside, and then the body goes, oh, shoot, it's time to bring on that cortisol. We watch, gory movies and, things that get our stress levels up. So here's the thing, the things we're gonna talk about today, and I get this question all the time. I can't sleep, I lay in bed for hours, I can't fall asleep. When I fall asleep, I can't, stay that way. I wake up feeling like crap. What's something natural that I can take? So the first step before you start taking something natural is to actually stop, right? Stop with the devices and stop with this messy bedtime routine and stop working until the end of the night because it's just causing you to get less done the next day. So let's talk about these 6 steps, right? The very first step is to choose calming and quiet activities. And often all it takes is identifying some calming, quiet activities, right? So like reading a book, taking a warm bath, going for a light stroll, not a run, but a light stroll outdoors, playing with a pet, folding laundry. So if you're having trouble sleeping, stop the email, no TV, no next day planning, no budgeting, no stressful conversations with your partner for a full hour before bed. Ideally 2 hours, but if you can do 1 full hour, so if you're going to bed at 9, I go to bed by 9, that means no TV, nothing but a book maybe, or some relaxing, quiet nighttime activity from 8 to 9, okay? The key here is to choose activities that resonate with you. So I said folding laundry in that list because somebody said that was relaxing to them. To me, I hate folding laundry, and so that would never be a nighttime activity that I would choose, right? But from 8 to 9, and this goes for your kids as well. Because a lot of times I hear, so-and-so won't lay down, won't go to sleep, won't do this. Get rid of the devices. No iPads in the bedroom, friends. Okay, so quiet, low light, nighttime activities, right? If noise is a big issue, you can use earplugs, but I don't want your phone or your device in your bedroom to even play a white noise fan. Number 2, turn off all full spectrum light for 1 to 2 hours before bedtime, okay? No email, no TV, no smartphone apps. On the rare occasion you need to use a device, because I work with a lot of people who have kids that are of age to be driving around and doing things that kids do in their teens and early 20s. Use blue light blocking glasses, and that'll help to diffuse the effects of that full spectrum light and help your melatonin still come in and still work so that you can sleep, okay? A lot of people, and I'm actually talking on my phone so I can't show it to you, a lot of people have been asking me about the blue light blocking on your iPhone where it says like turn off full spectrum light. That doesn't work. They've done lots and lots of studies on the blue light blocking apps and the blue light blocking settings on your mobile devices. They don't work. So you're gonna have to get the blue light blocking glasses. They're not as bad as they used to be. I have them on Amazon, $9, $10, sometimes up to $15 or $20, but they actually come in really cute styles now. But those blue light blocking glasses are for the rare occasion. They're not an excuse to continue to use your device all the way up until bedtime, right? So far, relaxing bedtime activities, full spectrum light is a no-no for 1 to 2 hours. Number 3, avoid caffeine after 2 p.m. That means even green tea, that means coffee, that certainly means soda, which I hope you're not drinking anyways. That means even chocolate, because it can affect you. It changes the rhythm of that cortisol, so it affects melatonin's ability to turn that cortisol down, okay? It requires more melatonin to turn the cortisol down if you've had caffeine after 2 p.m. The 4th thing that a lot of people don't do is to mind the temperature. So your bedroom shouldn't be too hot, right? Because that can disrupt sleep. And it shouldn't be too cold either, because that can wake us up too. So when we're hot or cold, we tend to wake up and we mess with the beddings, and then temperature extremes naturally start to increase our stress hormones. So use your digital thermometer, or if you have a manual thermometer, set it to 62, 65, somewhere in there, maybe even 70, but set it somewhere that you can sleep comfortably all night with the appropriate amount of covers that you need, right? Number 5, start a relaxing bedtime ritual. So it kind of goes in concert with number 1 and number 2, no full spectrum light and relaxing afternoon or relaxing nighttime activities. Once you start to have a pattern, right? By the end of the 7 days here, you'll have a pattern of what feels good. Maybe that includes a relaxing ritual like journaling or having some chamomile tea. Some of my favorites are lavender, chamomile, valerian, or passion flower. All of those are really good nighttime teas. Those are generally safe for kids as well, but they can help you relax. They can help you set a tone for sleep. And if you're not much of a tea drinker, like a hot soaking bath with Epsom salt works really, really well. If you're like me and a hot bath sounds like torture, then maybe writing in your journal for 10 or 15 minutes, or read some inspirational or spiritual books can help, right? You can also meditate before bed. Now for me, meditation generally energizes me, so I don't like to do it before bed. I do it about 2 p.m. in the afternoon, between 2 and 3. But you can also do this and meditate yourself to sleep, okay? And then number 6, and this is the last one. Let me get one more sip of coffee. Also, if you drink coffee, try Four Sigmatic. It's really, really good. Lion's Mane coffee is what I'm having this morning. So number 6 is to quiet the digestion. And this one is really, really powerful, because here's what happens. When you stuff yourself full, right, you have a full tummy, it causes an initial drowsiness, right? So you start to fall off into sleepy land, and then 2 to 3 hours, whoop, you shoot back up, because your body has to kick into high gear. You have to produce those neurotransmitters in order to be able to digest that food. Your blood sugar goes up, and you end up not having a very good night's sleep. So try not to eat the last 2 to 3 hours before bed. And we all have the ability right now, where there's not, practices until 7 or 8 at night and all of these things, to get on a good routine and start eating dinner about 6 or 5 even, like old school, 5 or 6. And that way by 8, 9, 10 p.m., whatever your bedtime is, you've had a full 2 to 3 hours before laying down. That will also help to improve your sleep. So you don't have to remember these 6 things. You can get them on the blog at audreychristie.com/116. Or you can get them as part of my 5 steps to take today to stop autoimmune disease. And you can get that at audreychristie.com/autoimmune. So if you guys have any questions or if you want a copy of my Bulletproof Sleep Protocol, just leave me a comment below and I will send you the link. And to wrap this up, because I've been talking for a while, sleep is absolutely non-negotiable, okay? If you're not routinely sleeping, it's a priority to fix. And it's a priority to fix before any of the other things, right? Because from a place of having sleep, you can function, you can make decisions better, you are more motivated and inspired to get things done, right? Your body has to be able to do the work of healing, and in order to do that, you have to process emotions, your hormones have to restock, your immune system has to function properly in order for autoimmunity to diminish and ultimately heal. So thank you for watching today. If you have a second, it would mean the world to me if you would leave a comment, give me a like, or share this out. It helps me to help more people. I'd be oh so grateful. Have a good Tuesday.